Are you frustrated with your efforts to develop leaders? You're investing time in training, but you don't see transformation happening. Well, stay tuned because today I'm going to share my three-part process for producing transformation in the lives of the leaders you're training. Hey guys, this is Mac Lake bringing you tips, tools, and techniques for developing leaders. Years ago, I was growing more and more frustrated because I was spending time training leaders but not getting the results I wanted. I was talking a lot, but they weren't transforming much. You know, when you invest time into leadership development, you expect a return of more and better leaders, but that wasn't my reality. Well, that was about 15 years ago. And as I was wrestling through this issue, I asked myself this question: how do people really change their leadership behaviors? Well, that question changed everything for me. That day, I scratched out a little diagram that I call the Triad of Development. It's three overlapping factors that produce transformation in the lives of the leaders that we're training. So today I'm going to walk you through this little diagram. I'm going to illustrate it for you, and then I'm going to give you some action steps that you can take to put it into practice right away and increase your effectiveness at impacting the leaders you're training. Now, by the way, if you're enjoying these weekly videos, make sure that you subscribe. Click the little bell up above so you can be notified every Tuesday when a new video is uploaded. Now, let's dive in. The Triad of Development is three overlapping factors working together to produce transformation in a leader's life. It begins with the first factor, which is knowledge. For our potential leaders to develop specific competencies, they have to get key information on how to actually do the skill we want them to learn. They have to gain some knowledge about how to do that competency. So, for example, if I wanted to improve my golf swing, I would go out and I would buy Golf Magazine. I'd find the article on 5 steps to the perfect golf swing. I would read it and study it the best I could. Does that make me a great golfer? Nah, not really. Gives me some good information though. So the first factor really is helping those you're training get the information. For you to practice this week, I want you to think about a leadership competency you'd like to train into 2 or 3 of your leaders. Write down that competency very specifically. Then find a video or an article that teaches the how-tos of that competency. That's how you're going to help give them the knowledge they need to develop in that area. Okay? Now, the second factor in the Triad of Development that produces transformation is experience. If we want to see transformation in the life and leadership of those we're training, we need to help them put that competency into practice. That's where they're really going to learn it. It's the experience that allows them to see where they're strong and where they need to grow. It's the experience or the trying that competency that produces failure. And failure is good because it raises questions for them, which leads to greater learning. But also, it's in practicing the competency where there are times they do it well. They learn from actually doing it well, and we can praise them, and when they do it well, it increases their confidence with that particular competency. So let's go back to my example. I'm trying to improve my golf swing. I read the article on 5 steps to the perfect golf swing. That gives me the knowledge I need, but now I know I also need experience. So I grab a 9-iron, I go out in my backyard, and I swing 1,000 times. Now, does that make me a better golfer? Not necessarily. It may make me a worse golfer if I'm swinging wrong. I'm just ingraining a bad habit. Now, let's go back to these leaders that you're training. You found some content to give them the knowledge. Now, here's what you're going to do. You're going to give them some assignments to practice that competency. I want you to think of 3 or 4 things that they can do to put that competency into practice. Okay, let me give you an example. If I wanted my leaders to learn how to delegate, I'm going to give them several assignments. Assignment number 1, I'm going to tell them, make a long list of everything you do, and I want you to identify 3 to 4 things that you could begin to delegate. Write down the names of who you could delegate it to and why you would delegate that task to that individual. And then I want you to talk it through with me. Assignment number 2, I want you to observe me delegating, and I want you to tell me what I did right and what I could do better. So that way I'm being a model for them. And then assignment number 3 is I want them to actually practice this. Delegate some tasks, and if I'm available, if I'm around, I want to watch you do it. I want to watch you in action so I can give you immediate feedback. It's not always possible to do that, but when it's possible, try to do that. Now, got knowledge and experience. The third factor in the Triad of Development that produces transformation is coaching. For our potential leaders to develop their leadership competencies, they need someone to observe them in action and talk to them about what they're learning. So for example, once again, go back to my golf swing, all right? If I want to improve my golf swing, I'm going to read the article, I'm going to go out in my backyard, and I'm going to swing 1,000 times, but then I'm going to invite my buddy who's a golf coach to come over, and he's going to watch me. And as he's watching me, he's going to say, whoa, 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 wait a minute, Mac, keep your head down. Whoa, all right, keep your left arm straight, bend those knees, and he's going to give me constant feedback. And as he does that, I'm growing in my development as a golfer. Now, let's go back to these folks that you're developing, okay? You've given them an article. You've given them some assignments to practice that competency. Now, you're going to meet with them, and you're going to talk to them about what they're learning. You're going to ask them questions like, what challenged you from that article? What did you learn by putting this competency into practice from those assignments? What would you do differently? What did you do well? What did you learn by watching me do that competency? And what are your next steps to keep growing in this area? So, knowledge, experience, coaching. Guys, that's the Triad of Development. Now, so often, what we do in our leadership development efforts is we give leaders knowledge. Read this book, read this article, watch this video, and we expect them to change simply based on that. But that's not how it works. It's using these 3 overlapping factors again and again that will truly begin to produce transformation in the lives of your leaders. Practice the Triad of Development this week. Hey, I hope this has been helpful. Give it a try. Leave me a comment below about what you've learned. And hey, also, I want to let you know about an opportunity for your organization. This year, I'm doing 2 leadership pipeline boot camps, one in Las Vegas and one in Atlanta. This is an opportunity for you and your team to come and have an in-depth experience, and it's an experience that will help you build an intentional leadership development strategy that I promise you, it will impact your organization for years to come. So if you'd like more information on that, I'm going to put a link in the description below. Also in the description below will be a list of questions that you can discuss this video with your team. Thanks again for joining me today, and I will see you in the next video.